Welcome to Believers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to this live edition of Believers Talk as we are now in the tampering period for free agency. And what that means, guys, is that agents can now talk to other players, other agents about who wants to come to Buffalo or any other team for that matter. And also, as we've already seen, it's a big time for trades. Big time for trades if you are a fan of the NFL. We just saw the Arizona Cardinals and the Houston Texans make a big trade, including hey guys, how you doing? Hey Anthony, hey Dennis, how you guys doing? Brandon comes in. Let's go Buffalo. Absolutely. We lost Lawson, says Karen. Yes, we did. For those of you just joined the stream, and we'll talk about that. Obviously, Shaq Lawson signs, or at least signs in principle, a 3-year deal. Guys, thank you for joining me on Believers Talk. My name is Joe. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button if you're joining me. If you haven't yet subscribed to Believers Talk, be sure to subscribe for continuing Buffalo Bills news, and that includes right now we're talking about the free agency tampering period beginning, and so that means that the agents of these teams of these players can talk to teams, and we can get deals in principle. Haitian comes in when the agents talk to. Have a temper tantrum. Texans got robbed. Hey, Texans did it to themselves. They agreed to the trade. I don't understand what they were doing. But yeah, the Texans trade with the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals getting DeAndre Hopkins and a 4th-round pick. The Houston Texans getting David Johnson and a 2nd and 4th-round pick both this year. The Colts traded the 13th overall pick for DeForest Buckner. I did just see that come across my screen as well. So a lot of things going on in the NFL. So you want to make sure that you're paying attention. And of course, if it's Buffalo Bills news, you know that I'll have you covered right here on Believers Talk. So make sure that you stay covered right here. Hit that subscribe button. After you hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Notifies you when we go live and when we put out new content. Just put out another Could It Happen video, Buffalo Sports Edition. So you want to check that out after you're done here. Love to keep Jordan, says Dennis Chapman. Absolutely. Now that we lost Shaq, you would love to keep Jordan. So Trevor Lewis says, glad we didn't give Lawson that money. I smell Mario Williams 2.0. He did get a lot of money there. Let's talk about that deal for a second as he goes to the Miami Dolphins. Let me pull up here on my phone. Dolphins signed Shaq Lawson to a 3-year, $30 million deal. Glad Bean is being diligent. Bean has always been diligent. That's one thing we have to love about Brandon Bean. As I continue to watch Free Agency Frenzy on NFL Network, guys, with a lot of things going on, and I hope you guys are staying safe out there. It's kind of nice to have this way to kind of get away from it, right? And that's what sports are, kind of like a distraction from the real world. And that's what we're taking as. It's a perfect time for this to come around. The Miami Dolphins are signing former Buffalo Bills edge rusher Shaq Lawson to a 3-year, $30 million contract. Sources told NFL Network's Ian Rappaport. Now remember, guys, this cannot become legitimate until Thursday. Right now, it's just the tampering period, so a lot of these deals are deals in principle. The trading won't be able to start until the new league year as well, so that's a deal in principle. Miami ranked last in the NFL in pass rushing categories last season, including sacks and pressures, so Lawson might help out there. But he will no longer be with the Buffalo Bills, signing a 3-year, $30 million deal with the Miami Dolphins. Guys, let me know in the comment section, do you like not getting Shaq Lawson back, or did you want Shaq Lawson back? After Lawson getting paid, I doubt Phillips will take a hometown discount. He's going to want to get paid also. I mean, and maybe that's why the Bills didn't go after Shaq Lawson. I thought we'd only be able to keep one out of 2 of them if we kept any of them at all. I think I'm on record on this channel saying that. So maybe now we'll go after Jordan Phillips and keep him now that the tampering period has begun. Also want to talk to you guys real quick about a report of the Buffalo Bills showing interest in cornerback Chris Harris Jr. Josina Anderson of ESPN reporting that the Buffalo Bills are one of 4 teams interested in Chris Harris Jr. to add depth to that cornerback room. I know a lot of people thought with the signing of Josh Norman that we wouldn't be looking at the cornerback position, but we obviously still are. And now I think that if you get Chris Harris Jr., it does an amazing thing to your secondary. It makes it that much tougher if we have a Chris Harris type player as our CB2, a guy that was ranked I think in the 20s, 23rd best pending free agent according to NFL.com. In 121 career games, I'm sorry, he has started 121 of 139 career games, has 518 tackles, 20 interceptions, and 6 forced fumbles. That would be amazing to see him come to Buffalo. You want to talk about a guy that would really make this secondary seem unstoppable. That would be the type of signing it would take to do that. Lawson was improving and was really good against the run, but depends on their plan with the draft and maybe a trade for Yannick. Yeah, maybe something happens with Yannick Ngakoue. And again, right now is a good time to see a bunch of trades. Possibly you get the feeling that there's going to be 1 or 2 more today. And you know I'm going to have you covered right here on Believers Talk. So again, guys, hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. Thank you for joining me in this room. Currently 15 watching. I appreciate you guys coming in here as free agency. The tampering period has begun. I'm trying to look in the camera, but I have the NFL Network right in front of me. Thoughts on Diggs to Buffalo? We heard that last year too. We know that Diggs wants out. He just tweeted out time for a new beginning. And hey, if that new beginning is Buffalo, I would love to see it again. It wouldn't help our Smurf complex, right? Stephon Diggs, not exactly a tall receiver, but just adding talent, adding speed to that wide receiver room would be awesome to see. So we'll see what happens there. But again, I'm not sure if Stephon Diggs is the right fit for Buffalo. But if Buffalo made a go for, made a trade, you know that Brandon Beane's making that phone call because that's what he does. He's always willing to make those phone calls. Local petitions, Buffalo petitions Pagulas to reinstate the Jills and having to curb losses due to coronavirus. Free halftime lap dances for season ticket. Well, I guess I have to become a season ticket holder, Jack. You know what I'm saying? Again, Jack Patrick, thank you very much for that gift that I got on Saturday or Friday. I really do appreciate that. I forget now because I've had so many days off in a row. The days all come together, but I've enjoyed them, so that's a good thing as well. All we need is Chase Claypool from the draft, and we automatically will make the playoffs. I love what Chase Claypool did during the combine, and I'm a Notre Dame fan, so I did enjoy watching Chase Claypool Claiborne this season, or I'm sorry, Claypool this season. But we'll see what happens in the draft. Again, I don't want to draft him too high just because he did well in the NFL Combine, but this was just to get on here, guys, to really talk about the fact that the tampering period has begun. I don't know why it's asking me to show or hide that. I'm good with it. I think we have most cap space in the NFL at the moment. With current deals that have gone down, it wouldn't surprise me, right? I think the Jets are below us, so I don't think they would be higher. But yeah, you figure the Dallas Cowboys just recently had Dak Prescott, put him on the franchise tag. A lot of franchise tags came out today because of the fact that today was the last day to franchise tag players. So a lot of things going on. CNN reports. You're welcome. Thanks, Jack. Thanks a lot for your great reporting. Again, I'm just looking at. I'm getting a lot of news sources, making sure that we don't miss anything when this legal tampering period begun. Legal tampering period began today at noon Eastern time, and we have seen a few moves. Again, including probably the biggest news of the day so far is that big trade between the Arizona Cardinals and the Houston Texans. And again, I think I agree with the person in the comment section that said Houston got hosed in that deal. I can't believe they went for it. You figure. Still no McKenzie news. Not at all. No McKenzie news. Sports Talk by AJ comes in. Thank you for joining me on Believers Talk. This team has driven me to the brink of extinction. How do you do nothing today? How do you let Hooper go to Cleveland and DeAndre Hopkins to Arizona? Neither one. Hooper, obviously, with what we've done in the tight end room, we weren't looking to add to our tight end room currently. And maybe that's not one of our free agent targets. You have to figure out what the draft holds for the Buffalo Bills, and maybe they made a play at DeAndre Hopkins. But again, what are you wanting to get rid of for DeAndre Hopkins? Maybe they wanted to deal with Arizona. Maybe Arizona gave him a deal before we know. Both signed Muggsy Bogues and Spud Webb at wide receiver. Again, Jack, thank you for that great breaking news. Did Feliciano resign? I didn't know Feliciano was a free agent. So yeah, Feliciano is still a Buffalo Bill. If you go to SpotTrack.com. Speaking of SpotTrack.com, talking about the Chris Harris Jr. Possibilities. According to SpotTrack.com, Chris Harris Jr. is asking, or his value would be at $11 million a year. Obviously, the Bills can afford that. The Bills can afford a lot of things right now. But again, we want to be diligent, and we want Brandon Beane to be diligent with the money that he has. And again, I normally trust Brandon Bean to do just that. But yeah, the Buffalo Bills are not disappointed with their tight ends, obviously making moves. Yeah, Feliciano is an unrestricted free agent next season at the end of 2021 season, so he is still a Buffalo Bill. And then Trevor comes in and talks about Hopkins. Houston wants to move him to the NFC. And again, why wouldn't you? But it does seem like a steal of a deal for the Arizona Cardinals, a young team, a team that we have to play next season. And now we have to play them. So that means Hopkins will get to play against Trey White again next year. So we all know how much smack they talked heading into that playoff game. Let's see what happens this time around when he's with the Arizona Cardinals. Obviously, doesn't have Watson throwing the ball, so we'll see if that changes things a little bit. You have Larry Fitzgerald there, savvy vet. Obviously, everyone loves Larry Fitzgerald. Love to see him finish out his career with the Arizona Cardinals. Dennis Chapman says, yeah, they're not going to let Hopkins go to an AFC playoff team, a team that they just saw in the playoffs and barely beat. So yeah, you have to wonder if that was a part of it. If the Houston Texans did not want to make a team in their conference any better by giving them a DeAndre Hopkins for what I thought was pretty much for a very minimal price for the Arizona Cardinals. David Johnson, it seems like he's on the back end of his career, at least the back end of his good years. Now, does that change in Houston? Maybe a change of scenery makes it a little bit better for David Johnson to get some running room back there. But I just don't know if that and a second round pick, I think it's that, a second and a fourth, are worth giving up Hopkins by itself, let alone a fourth round pick in 2021. So I found a lot of that very interesting. Again, we may be seeing some more trades later. The Dolphins making moves. The Dolphins did sign Jerry Hughes, now ex-Buffalo Bill, according to the reports. So a lot of things going on as free agency, the tampering period begins. And like I said, this is the time period where you see a lot of people say, oh, agrees to in principle, deal is being put in motion, things like that. Because again, nothing can officially happen until Thursday when the league year begins, which again, according to all sources, league year is set to begin at the same time, even with the coronavirus going on. Thanks, Jack Patrick. Do not listen to this breaking news. Not much going on with Bajorges, and he's not signing for a 20-year, $40 million per year deal. That just is not going to happen. But again, the Dolphins signed Shaq Lawson. If you're new as well, Bajorges, Joe, come on, Joe. But yeah, if you guys didn't hear already that the NFL does not plan on hosting the draft in Vegas. They do plan on televising the draft some way, some form. Again, I'm still not sure what I'm doing for the draft, but I will keep you guys up to date right here on Believers Talk. Currently 20 people in this room. Go ahead, hit that thumbs up button. Really helps out the channel. Lets people know that we are here talking about free agency. Again, the only news for the Buffalo Bills right now, going into free agency, we're about 5 hours into free agency here, and you talk about the Dolphins signing Shaq Lawson, former Buffalo Bill now, to a 3-year, $30 million deal. And again, I don't think Shaq Lawson was worth $10 million a year. Again, you talk about the Buffalo Bills, you talk about rotating defensive line. I don't want to pay someone $10 million a year unless he's going to make a huge impact like a guy like an Ngakoue would. So $10 million a year, just not something I'm willing to fork over if I'm the Buffalo Bills. Let me know if you agree in the comment section, or do you wish that the Buffalo Bills would have signed Shaq Lawson at $10 million a year. Bills trade Lee Smith for Brady. Straight up, why do we want Brady? We have the better quarterback right now. Sports Talk says, could the Bills have made a play for Forrest Bunker? Well, obviously anyone could have made a play for him, but is that something the Buffalo Bills are looking at in free agency? You have to ask yourself, was Brandon Bean prioritizing in free agency? Is he prioritizing going after these free agents or trades? Because remember, if you're talking to trades, that's going to take time away from your free agent discussions as well. So you have to make sure, if you're interested in trades, that you have the right trade partner. And maybe it's just a phone call that was not made. Maybe we didn't know that Buckner was on the trading block. So I think they could have definitely made a play for him if they would have known he was available. And if maybe they did make a play for him. Maybe they did, and we just don't know about it. But you talk about the Colts getting Buckner from the 49ers, a deal worth about $21 million per season. Maybe he's just not willing to pay that much money for him as well. These are all things that you have to consider when you're thinking about Brandon Beane and what he's thinking about on his end. Heard Raider Stadium will face delays and won't be ready for next season. I heard it's going to face delays, but they're just going to have a few more road games to start off the season, which if you're a Raiders fan, then that means you have more home games at the end of the season. Not a bad way to be. And to be honest, if they play the Buffalo Bills towards November, December, maybe that's a good time to go down to Vegas if you're sick of the cold. Bills have to get people who aren't afraid of cold weather, which is pretty much no one's to say, hey, we're going to make moves. Well, last year we had a lot of free agents. We had over 20 free agent signings last season. I don't expect that much action, but I do expect the Buffalo Bills to make some moves this free agency. There might be some guys that we get that might surprise you. I mean, I truly believe that. Andrew says, if we get a wide receiver, it has to be their number one, and I don't think they need another wide receiver one. John Brown and Beasley is a sufficient room. Plus, you have McKenzie, who offers them a different look. You still need to get length. You still need tall, red zone depth receivers, is what I'm thinking. It doesn't have to be another one. It could be a Chase Claypool type guy who is willing to be a number 2 behind John Brown, or even number 3, but you need to get someone who's taller than 6 foot in that wide receiver room. The tallest guy we have is 6'2", and that's Duke Williams, who, by the way, didn't see the field all that much last season, and there's no guarantees that he's going to see the field again this season. So, Andrew, when it comes to wide receiver room, what I want is size. I don't need speed. I think John Brown's plenty fast enough. I think Cole Beasley's plenty shifty enough. Again, we got the Smurfs back there. But I do want size. Truth to Heart says, I guarantee we make a play for Isaiah Simmons. I think Isaiah Simmons is a beast. What he did at the Combine, he looks like an absolute monster, and I would love to make a play for him, depending what the trade would be to have to go up and get him, because he's going to be a top 10 pick, right? So whatever the trade would have to be to go up and get him, obviously that would come into question, but man, I do love me some Isaiah Simmons. Sports Talk by AJ comes in and says, I want to see the Bills go get a wide receiver that can make Josh Allen better. I mean, you're talking about Amari Cooper at this point, maybe a Robbie Anderson, but I just don't know if Robbie Anderson has wide receiver number 2 maybe potential, but for what he's asking for, that $12 million, he's going to want wide receiver 1 money, and I just don't know if he's worth that. So I'm not sure if I want to go after Robbie Anderson, but you go after Amari Cooper, and that's a guy that instantly makes this offense more lethal. Now, are you willing to take the culture hit? Because again, what does he add to the Buffalo Bills culture? We don't know, but he would add talent on the field, so that's something that you would have to consider. Bills saving their shekels to make Allen the first $40 million QB. Don't know if he's worth that much money yet, Jack. We'll see what happens. John comes in. Players don't get a choice if they are traded. They do not. You are correct. Claypool is better than every receiver in the draft. Maybe, but it's a deep wide receiver draft, so we'll see what the Buffalo Bills do there. Duke is the shortest 6'2" on the planet, maybe. But yeah, he absolutely made some key catches for us in that playoff game. That's something we have to constantly remember. I just am very interested to see if Duke Williams does make the roster in 2020. Again, made some strides in that playoff game. Would love to see him here, but I still think we need to add size for that red zone. Would love to see that red zone offense become more efficient. Do I think Kroom will get looks at wide receiver come camp? No, he's going to be a tight end. He's going to be a tight end. I don't know if Kroom makes this team, however. I really don't. When you look at this making a 55-man roster, now remember we added 2 men to the roster with the new signing of the CBA. Maybe he gets in there. But who knows? I'm just reading the breaking news coming across the screen. It's just still talking about the draft right there. Laviska Shenault is an option at 22, but I just think with his injury history, I'm not a fan of Laviska Shenault. And again, with the depth of the wide receiver draft, he might dip into day 2. If he's there in day 2, maybe we want to trade up to get him. I think that's a good spot for him. But he's in play at 22. I mean, I remember initial mock drafts having us take Shenault at 22 out of Colorado. But I'm just not the biggest fan of him. And again, those injuries keep piling up, including getting injured at the Combine again. So you just want to continue to see that. You really wish you would have had a chance to shine in this pro day, but it looks like all pro days are being canceled due to the coronavirus. Again, guys, hopefully you are all being safe out there with the coronavirus scare, and don't take it lightly. You want to make sure that you're being safe out there. Hopefully all your friends and family are safe as well. But again, guys, thank you for joining me on Billievers Talk as we are live for the start of the tampering period in training camp. And again, guys, when we get Buffalo Bills news, I'll keep you up to date right here. Trade away first 3 picks for Isaiah Simmons. I mean, again, he looks like a beast. He looks like someone who's gonna add to a team immediately, right? Almost like Ed Oliver did for the Bills last season. It looks like he is going to do some majorly great things at the NFL level. Again, at the combine, he just seemed to really take off, and his stock can only rise. And it's sad. I mean, it's amazing because he's already a top 10 pick, and his stock continues to rise. Currently on the TV right now, they're talking about the Buccaneers making intentions clear to acquire Tom Brady. And so we'll see what happens there. I personally think Tom Brady's staying with the New England Patriots, but we'll see what happens. Let's sign a bunch of nobodies for all our cap. No, Jack, let's grab some big names. Hey, Anthony, I wouldn't be surprised if we sign a guy like Brashard Perriman in free agency. Perriman can add some depth, that's for sure. Chenault had the team on his back. That could make anyone injury prone. Players get hurt all the time. It's not the fact that he just got hurt. He got hurt, it seemed like year after year, and then again getting hurt at the NFL Combine just doesn't help his case. Again, I'm not saying he's not in there at 22. Definitely someone to look at 22. But I just want, if we trade back maybe at 26 and pick him up there, I think I'd be happier. I think Chenault's in play at 22. I think Chenault would be at play later as well. And then if we can pick up some more draft capital along the way, I would definitely be okay with that. Could the Bills take a running back in the first round? Yes, they absolutely can. I've seen mock drafts getting us the guy Georgia, DeAndre Swift, Georgia, to add to that backfield. Remember, right now, the backfield consists of Yeldon, and it consists of Singletary. It all really depends on Christian Wade, right? What does this coaching staff think of Christian Wade? Do they think that he can contribute in the running game and the special teams game as well? Or do they feel like they need to move on from Christian Wade and potentially get another big star receiver in there? Again, you talk about Norris Perry as a free agent, so we would have to re-sign him. But you look at TJ Yeldon, and then Devin Singletary, of course, will be the signature back, and then Christian Wade to see what happens right there. But yeah, again, Denzel Mims is the wide receiver we need to draft. I love Denzel Mims. Baylor tried to shore up the SLB position in free agency. No need to make any splash moves. We need to be able to re-sign White, Milano, Dawkins, Allen, Evans, and Poyer. With the new CBA, there's going to be a lot more money too, so we have to think about that. Is there a pass rusher that we could trade up for? I would rather trade up for, if I'm trading up for any money, it's Simmons at linebacker. I definitely don't want to trade up for wide receiver. I think that would be a waste of time with the depth of the wide receiver class. But again, we'll see what the Buffalo Bills decide to do. I didn't want to trade up for wide receiver when we got Sammy Watkins either, and we did. So we'll see what the Buffalo Bills try to do. Andrew comes in. Gordon and Freeman are free agents. Also, Matt Breida and Jordan Howard. I'm not a fan of Jordan Howard. Gordon could come to Buffalo. There were talks about that last season when he was holding out. I remember those talks. But we'll see the number that he wants. Again, we think that our star is Devin Singletary, right? So our star running back, Devin Singletary, Gordon might want RB1 type money. And if that's the case, then I don't think the Buffalo Bills want to sign him. I do like some Matt Breida, but Jordan Howard, I'm not a big fan of either. Andrew Loyere, we won't get any of them. Oh, talking to Andrew. Hey, yeah, you could get Gordon out there, but that's the only one that I think that we have a chance to get, if any of them. Again, I'm not a fan of Jordan Howard. I like Matt Breida, but I believe he's a restricted free agent. I'd have to check that again. So obviously, San Fran still has the first dibs on him, and then Freeman and Gordon out there as well. Again, we heard about Gordon last year when he was holding out, possibly coming to Buffalo. Would be interesting to see if he comes there this year. But again, guys, I am going to keep you updated on all Buffalo Bills news. I just wanted to get on here with the start of the free agent tampering period. Obviously, things can continue to change as the day goes on. But, I'm going to have you covered right here on Billievers Talk. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Currently 5 o'clock on the East Coast. That means we've had 5 hours of free agency, and it looks like it's going to be a fun 2 days during this tampering period. And then Thursday is going to be a lot of fun as free agency starts at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So again, thank you for joining me on Billievers Talk. I look forward to keeping you up to date on this free agency time period, and I'll talk to you all soon. Until I do,